Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I know it's after 12. All right. Yeah, I might look like a mess right now, but I just finished washing my clothes, on the Subway, get me something to eat. Oh, I want to lose my mask, and I have to go back in the house or buy one. Now I don't feel like spending money right now. All right, so when I was washing clothes, the Lord brought to my attention Allstate. I don't know if it's a good insurance company. I don't know. I'm going to check it out. But Progressive may be high, but Progressive pays on time. I like Progressive. I really do like Progressive because I had Progressive when I was living in Atlanta. Hold on. You got a heavy haul coming. See it? Heavy haul. So I'm gonna check into it, and it's a little drizzle outside. It's not bad. It's not bad. So the only thing I can talk to you about that changed my mind is business. So what's the difference of starting a business and being an employee? Are your parents wrong for saying, don't be the one to sign the back of the check, be the one that signs the front of the check? Well, do you want my honest opinion? Everybody that has a business is not happy. From my life experience, my eyes, I'm going to look in my daughter's eyes and tell her, go to school and be what you want to be. If that's an employee, be it. Because a business is 24/7. You see what I went through, right? To start a business. Being an employee, if I can go back to my high school days, if I can go back to 1988 or 1987, when we had career day inside East Orange High School. Teterboro came in and they caught my attention because they had a program where you can be an aircraft mechanic. That's where I wanted to go. But I was too slow making moves. Too slow. So if I could go back versus, well, I can't say that. That's not right. That's showing God I'm not grateful. But if I didn't know what I know now, the goodness of God, if I didn't know what I know now versus starting a business and being an employee, that's fair. Because if I say it any other way, God might feel I'm not thankful. So I will say, if I was to go in front of, if I'm rich, wealthy rich, and had to go in front of a high school and talk to these kids on graduation day, I will say, there's nothing wrong starting a business. And there's nothing wrong being an employee. Now, if you want the positive of both, or do you want the negative? Well, let's start with the negative. The negative of being an employee, you will never be rich. Well, I can't say that because there were Microsoft employees that are rich. But the odds of you becoming a millionaire being an employee, it's like 1%. 1%. Maybe the first founder, maybe the first employee of Home Depot, maybe he made it. Maybe the first employee of Lowe's, maybe he made it. Maybe the first employee of Tulsa, he made it. Maybe the first employee of Rockefeller Records, maybe he made it. Do you see what I'm saying? Out of all the employees, it's probably just one. Let's go. I'm going to go to my old company, Crisdale. First employee that, probably was either my father or Guy or Ray. I'm quite sure Guy made it. I'm quite sure Bill Weaver is close to making it. I'm quite sure Ray, Kenny. I'm quite sure he's close to it. But it's very slim for an employee to become a millionaire. In construction, you have a good chance to become a millionaire. Become a superintendent. You're making maybe 2% of the jobs. You're making maybe 175K a year. Yeah, you're close to making it. Warehouse superintendent or warehouse operation manager for Amazon. I'm close. You're close to making it. But do you see what I'm saying? It's very slim. You just can't go fill out a resume to be an employee of making $1 million. Now, when I first started, my first employee, possible can be a millionaire. It's possible. Because if he sticks with me the whole ride, he or she will be a millionaire. Because if I'm multi-rich, the first employee got to be multi-rich. Because without them, you wouldn't have made it. You feel me? So, if you want the negative of being an employee, this is right here. Being an employee, you won't be rich. You will never be rich. You have to deal with people over you. You got to deal with employees jealous of you. You got to deal with maybe you got to jump to two or three different companies to get to a comfortable position or place. You got to understand the business to grow. You got to work with your employees. That's the negative. Now, the negative in being a business owner. Sometimes you got to go way low. You got to go low to start a business. Sometimes financially, you have to struggle to start a business. You have to sacrifice to start a business. The odds of you being more happy and first starting is being an employee. The odds are more greater if you're going to be happy as an employee. And that's the God's honest truth. If you're looking for happiness, it's a long fight of being a business owner, not unless it was handed over to you. Then it was handed over to you. Sometimes you don't understand what it took to start a business. So you'll mistreat your employees. The owner that started a business has a blueprint of who to mess with, who not to mess with. But if you got the business handed over, the person that was on that blueprint doesn't exist. So now you looking at that person like, why ain't you doing the same thing everybody else doing? There ain't no favorites here. Maybe you had a favorite with my father, but with me, nah. So he's mistreating you. That's why a lot of people say companies go bankrupt once the kids get in charge. Because they don't look at the blueprint. Okay? So that's the negative. The positive. Happiness. To be happy. I will say, if I can get a job out of high school, going to college, that pays 6 figures, why in the world would I want to start a business? I'm being honest with you. If you can get a job paying 6 figures, there's no way in the world I want to start a business. Yeah, you got to worry about job security, yeah. But if you're making 6 figures, you're good at your craft. You're good at it. Now, let's use a truck driver. A company driver versus the owner-operator. If you can make between $75,000 to $100,000 a year as a company driver, you's a fool for going for DOT operating authority. You's a fool. Hold on. I'm being honest with you. If you're getting paid $75,000 to $100,000 to drive somebody else's truck, you better keep that job. I tell you no lie. You better keep it. Because I'm about to tell you some real nuggets. Fill my cup up. Some Coke and some strawberry lemon twist. Okay. I don't need no chips. I had chips already, so I just need something to walk with. Okay? Hold on. Hello. No, I got 5 cents. Oh, I got it down. You don't know. Thank you. All right, let me tell you the difference. Okay? If you're making 75 grand a year, right? Driving as a company driver, right? And you saying, man, bump that. I want to be an owner operator. Let's take that 75 grand a year, right? Now, if you was a company driver, right, and you was a family man, you only got one car. Because that truck, right, you buy one car. Your wife drives that car. And if you're single, you still got one car. Your wife drives that car. When you're not on the road, it's all about you, your wife, and your kids. So, you making 75 grand, right? Now, let's take rent or mortgage, $1,000 a month. Lord, give me the wisdom, knowledge, clear my mind to be a calculator. Okay? Now, your mortgage is $1,000 a month, right? Now, you divide $1,000 into 4.3. 4.3 is a weeks in a month. Okay? say 43. You just got to move the dot over. 43 goes in 100 2 times. That's 86, right? Okay? That's 86, right? So 86 from 100 is 14. So that's 140, right? 140. 43 times 9. So it's like 43, 209 and change. $209 a week, right? Take that 209, divide it into 40. 40 into 209. 40 goes into 200 4 times. 5. 40 times 5 is 200. So you're looking at 40 goes into 209 5 times. That's $5 an hour. You're paying for your mortgage. So every 5 hours you work, you got to put $5 aside for your mortgage. Okay? Now, you're still making 75 grand a year. So that's $5. Okay? Now, out of 75 grand, you divide 75 grand into 12. 12 going to 75. 12 times 5 is 60. 12 times 6 is 72. That's 6. 72, that's 3. That's 30. 12 going to 32 times. So, you got 6, 2, let's say 6,200, roughly. 6,200 a month, roughly, for 75 grand. Yeah, 12 goes into 75 6 times, right? 12 going to 75 6 times. 12 times 6 is 72. You got 3 left over, 35. 12 times 3 is 36. So you can't use the 3. You got to use the 2. So let's say 6,200. You're making $6,200 a month. Divide the 62 into 4.3. 6,200 into 4.3. Okay, 62. That's 1 time. 43 goes into 62 1 time. Right? 7 is 50, 17. 43 goes into 170. 4 times 4 is 60. Right? 4 times 3 is 12. That's 72. Now, that's just being an employee. You don't have no more expenses but your house, your fuel, your kids going to school. That's it. You don't need 2 cars. Now, let's look at an owner-operator. Say he make $300,000 a year, right? You divide 300,000 into 365. That's not even $100 a day. Because 365 into 300,000, right? Let's say it's you 300. 300 into 300,000. That's $1,000, right? No, yeah, that's $100. That's 700. No, that's 1,000. I'm sorry. That is 1,000. Because 300,000, that's 6 digits. That's 6 digits. So you got 3 zeros behind that. So it's $1,000 a day. To make 300,000, to make 300,000 and 365 days of a year, it's a little shy than $1,000 a day. Right? Okay, so let's figure $1,000 a day. Now, how most of the times you spend about $50 gallons to 75 gallons of fuel a day. 50 gallons is something like 300 miles, and 75 gallons is like 450 miles. Okay? Fuel prices is about $3.50 a gallon. 350 times 50. $3.50 comes out to prices. Yeah, $3.50. Let's just take our time here. $3.50 times 50 gallons. If it was 100 gallons and it was $3, it will be $300. 350 will be $150. It was $1.50, it'll be $150. So you got $3.50 times 50 gallons. That is something like roughly around 65, 75. Excuse my math. That's just in the ballpark. So you figure $3.50 for every gallon. 350 times 50 is a half of that. Half of that will be 350 divided by 2, 150, 175. Just in fuel prices. So you divide the 175 into 1,000. You subtract 175 from 1,000. 175 from 1,000 is 825. Right? Okay. You got insurance. Now suppose your insurance is 20 grand a day. 20 grand a year. That's cheap. 20 grand a year is cheap. For a new tractor, it's cheap. 20 grand, 10 months is 2,000. So you're about 20 grand. You're roughly about 1,800. 1,800 a month, give or take. $1,800 a month. So now, from that 1,000, you have 825. Yeah, from that 1,000, you went from 1,000 to 825. just for fuel, you got 20 grand a month, 20 grand a year insurance. You divide 20 grand into 12. 12 goes into 20 one time. That leaves you 8 left over. 12 goes into 8. 7. 12 times 7 is 80. No, not 12. Yeah, 12 times 8 is 96. 12 times 7, 96, 84. That's 84. So 12 times 8, 12 times 7 is 84. That's, say, 175. Like, yeah, 175. Well, anyway, let's look at it like this. Because I'm walking and I got too many things going on, I really can't add my mind. In construction, that should be on point. You know, when I was doing my business plan today, I was using the calculator to correct me. I was doing it on paper. That's what took me so long. I'm doing it on paper and on my mind and using the calculator to see if it add up correctly. To get my my numbers right. Because I need to get my numbers right in construction. So, let's say it's $1,000 a week. Or it's $1,000 from 300,000. You're making $1,000 a day. $1,000 a day. To make 300,000, you're making $1,000 a day. And $1,000 a day, you're driving about 450 miles. Average. Between 300 and 450 miles a day. You got to worry about your truck break down, you got to pay for it. That insurance, you got to pay for it. Anything dealing with your business, you got to pay for it. You get a ticket, you got to pay for it. So versus that $75,000 a year, in which after you get your 75 grand, nothing on that truck, I don't care what goes on, you don't pay. See what I'm saying? It's less of a headache. So if you're making 75 to 100 grand and you decide you want to be an owner operator, I'm looking at you like, okay, you just want your own truck, right? That's the only thing I could think of. Because the money-wise, out of 300 grand, you'd be lucky. You'd be lucky to bring home $150,000 a year. You'd be lucky. I'm telling you, you will be lucky. That 150 grand is gone. You got at least 20 grand in insurance. You got at least, you figure $1.75 a mile for your operating costs and fuel. That's $1.75 easily. With your fuel, your operating costs, insurance, all that, you're spending about $1.75 a mile. Easily. So, you're driving, say, average 2,500 miles a week. 2,500, that's 10. That's like 15,000 miles a month, average. Like, I mean, yeah, it's like 15 grand, it's like 2 times 8. 2 times 8, yeah, it's like 8.5. It's like 950. Yeah, you driving like 2,500 miles. 25 times 4 is 10. Because 25 and 25 is 5 grand. That's 10. And you got a 3. The 0.3. The 0.3 is something like a quarter. So a quarter of 10 is another 10. Yeah, I'm right. It's like 12. It's like 1250. 12,500 miles you driving a month. All right? Bear with me now. I don't have no calculator. I'm doing everything off my head. I'm strengthening myself. That's 2,500 miles. No, that's 10. Yeah, 1,250 miles a month. You do 1,250 miles a month. 1,250 miles times $1.75. 12 times 12.5 times 2, 24. 2,500. So that's 25,000. It's 25,000. Subtract a quarter. A quarter of 25,000. You divide 4 into 25. 4 goes into 25. Subtract 500. Subtract 500. You see how I'm strengthening? I'm talking to you. I'm strengthening my mind. I'm strengthening my mind. I got to get on point. So, okay, 12.5. 12.5 divided by 4. 3. 25. 20. 22. That's like 2,200. 2,200. I mean, $22,000 a month for your truck, including insurance, everything. 22.5. Now, out of 22.5, let's say it's 20. Let's say it's $20,000. 20 times 10 is 200. 20,000 times 10 is 200,000. That's 240 grand for your truck. If you drive that many miles, you are spending at least $240,000 in your truck. Subtract 240,000 into roughly 350 grand. That's 110,000. You are still living the same life as a company driver. If I'm not mistaken, Atlas pays you 98 cents. They was paying you 98 cents per mile as driving for just a company driver. This was in 2010. They paying you 98 cents a mile to drive their truck, their trailer, 98 cents a mile. It's the same thing. Only thing different is they making more, but they got more expenses. So if someone's paying you 75 grand or more, you just want a truck. You're not going in for the business side. If I was home and doing this video, I can go more detailed with you. But I'm being honest with you, it's crazy because the numbers as a businessman are so high. Coming in, your account receivable is high. But once you do all the bills, the stress, it still come out the same. I don't even got my calculator. I don't even got my pen. So let's do it like this. That's what we're going to do. We're going to work on math. I want to work on math. All right? Let's take how many hours, if you do 40 hours, 40 times 40 times 4.3. 40 times 4 is 160. Right? Now, 160. The 0.3 times 40 is 12. 0.3 times 40 is 12. So it's 172 hours a month. If you work 40 hours a week, 40 hours a week, you work 172 hours. Let's take our time then. 0.3 is 12. 40 times 0.3 is 12, right? That's 172 hours. Okay? Let's take our time now. When I was doing construction, I was a grade foreman, right? I had to tell Calvin or tell my father high, low, what was the cubic yards, all this. I had to tell my father. So when we ordered material, had to be on point. Or Ray will ask me a question, how much you need? How much more material you need? I had to be on point. I didn't have time to get that calculator and figure out numbers. So what I used to do is this, when I'm doing math, right? You take the whole number. Take the whole number. Just say 13. Instead of using the 13, you use the 10. Say it's 13 times 7. You know 10 times 7 is 70. Right? Now, you take the 3 times 10 is 30. That's 13 times 7 is 100. Because 7 times 10 is 70. 3 times 10 is 30. That's 100. Now let's do the math. 13 times 7. 7 times 3 is 21. The 2 is up here. I'm wrong already. So 13 times 7. 7 times 3 is 21. You bring the 1 down. 7 times 1 is 7. And you bring the 2. That's 91. See, I'm wrong. So that's 21. And I said 30. 7 times 3 is not where I get 30 from. I said 7 times 10. That's why. It's 7 times 3. My bad. That was my fault. And let's do it again. 13 times 7 is 91. Right? So if you're doing construction, right, you don't got time to get in your truck and figure numbers out. You got to keep numbers in your head. You got to keep them in your head. So if I'm measuring, say I'm measuring a lot, and my lot is 13 by 7, and they asking me how much material you need, I take the whole number 10. The whole number 10 times 7. That's 70. I take the 7 times 3 is 21. 70, 21 is 91. Right? Now to get the square yards, you got to divide that by 9. 9 goes into 91. 9 goes in 9 one time. 0, dot. 100. 7 goes into 100. 7, no, it can't be. 7 goes into 10, I'm sorry. That's 1. So it's 101. It's 10.1 cubic yards. Right? Now, if you're working on a construction site, you got to know the length of the blade. You got to know the length of the blade. On a grader, it's 12 feet. It's 12 feet. Now, he could turn it to make that blade shorter, to make a pass, but it's 12 feet wide. And it's like 2 feet high. If I'm not mistaken, it's 2 feet. So it's 12 times 2. 12 times 2 is 24. Right? When you're getting cubic yards, length times width times height divided by 27. So, cubic yards, 1 cubic yard is something like 1.5 tons. It's something like 1.5 tons. It may be a little bit more. It all depends on the density of the product. I used to be on point with that. So, let's go back. Let's go back to all you rookies out there. I used to be on point. You tell me, I used to have this math all in my head. I used to have that math in my head. I knew when I got on that machine, I can look at an area and I look at the distance and the width of that, and I look at my blade. I knew how much a blade full would take me. So I would say, I need about a quarter truck. I need about a half a truck. 20 tons is on the truck. 20 tons is on the truck. A grader can knock down 20 tons and spread it out in a 50-foot pass. So in a 50-foot pass. So if it's a 50-foot pass for the grader, right? Half of that is 25 feet. So if I'm looking in my head and it's 25 feet, I would tell Jonathan, give me half a truck. That's all I need is a half a truck. Jonathan said, you sure? Yeah, half a truck is all I need. Because I knew my distance. I'm in a machine, but I'm also know the math. Okay? So let's go back. So now we are I got my house. I got my wives, I got my kids with me. And one of my wives says, let's put a helipad in the backyard. Helipad is 50 by 50. Right? Now, if it's 50 by 50, and I just told you, one truck can cover a 50-foot pass, and the blade is 12 feet wide. How many tons of stone do I need? Now let me put it down to you again. If one truck can cover a 50-foot pass and it's 12 feet wide, how many truckloads do I need? 12, 24, 36, 48. That's 4, right? And I still got 2 feet left over. 2, that's 6. So you got to divide a truckload into 6. So 20 times 4 is 80 tons. That's 80 tons, right? So 20 divided into 6 is 3, right? So I would say I need a quarter truck. You give me 4 trucks and have 1 truck sit. I already knew. I knew what I needed. You understand what I'm saying? I knew how much a load of asphalt would go. When I was a dump man for the asphalt, I knew how long one asphalt truck would take me. I knew. My mind was a calculator. So now, since I'm going back to construction, my math is coming back. She's coming back to me. See, that's my strength. My strength is construction. That's my strength. So now let's go back into trucking. Let's do this over again. Now, we in trucking. And I'm at the school. And I'm taking $100,000 worth of commodity in my trailer versus a company driver that got $100,000 and he's getting paid what's 12 times 84? Say it's $84,000 he getting paid. That's 7,000 No, that's, yeah. 12 times 8, 96. 12 times 7. That's $7,000 a month. He's making $7,000 a month. Right? Now, say I'm getting, for this one load, my percentage is 12.5. I got 12,500. He does 4 loads for the month. He got $7,000. I do 4 loads for the month. 12, 24, 36, 48, 48, divided by 2, 24, 48, 68, 72. That's 72,000 versus his $7,000. Now, 9 times out of 10, if all I'm doing is 4 loads, we're both doing 4 loads, that means I'm going coast to coast. Or I'm sitting. So, coast to coast, legally, you can do it in 3.5 days, legally. So, I pick up on a Monday. I got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Sometimes on Friday, I drop. Now, either I pick up a load Friday, somewhere Friday, and I drive Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, right? I'm looking to drop, right? I drop Tuesday. I pick up, so that's roughly right. That's about four loads, right? So I made 72,000 gross. He made $7,000. Coast to coast is something like 2,200 miles. 2,200 miles times 4. 8 times 2, yeah, 20. That's $8,000. 400 times 8 is 32. 8,000 plus 3,200. That's 11,200. That's 11,200 miles. Right? The company driver drove 11,200 miles and made $7,000. Clean money. I drove 11,200 miles and grossed it 72 grand. That's what I grossed it. Now, out that 11, what's that? I said 11.2? 11.2 or 11.5? I think it's 11.2 I said. 1,102 miles, 1,200 miles a month. Right? That's damn near. You hear me? That's damn near 22 grand. To the truck. Just to the truck. So that's down to 50 grand. That's down to 50 grand. Right? That's damn near to 50 grand. I done lost, what's the percentage? What's 72, what is 72,000 divided into 50 grand? You gotta go 72,000 and 50 grand is you gotta add, so that's 72 grand into 72,000 to 50 grand. You gotta, instead of going 50 grand, it gotta be 500,000. So 72,000 72 goes, 7 goes into 50 7 times. So that's 0.70. It's something like maybe 29%. 29% of my income. 29% of my income got to go to that truck. 29%. That's not including my house payment. That's not including maintenance. That's not including my wife's vehicle. That's not including my lifestyle. 29% of my income has to be set aside just for my truck. Okay, excuse me. Now, I got another, since now you're a business owner, your taxes is around maybe 35% now, plus another 45 grand. So let's figure 37%. 37 plus 29, that's 57, 56. 56% of my income is gone from the door. That's only 56, excuse my French, but yeah, 56% of my income is gone, right? Now, I got 56, 40, 44. That's 44%, right? All right, now 44%. You take the 44%, how much is your house? You gotta figure your 44% of your house. You got a wife, you got a kid, you got all that expenses, right? You hear me, right? So that's 44% for me to play with. I got 44 out of 72, 30, 44, 72, 35, 37, like 30. I may got 30 grand after everyone is taken care of. 30 grand. 30 grand compared to your 7. How about tolls? It costs about $100. No, it costs like $10 per 100 miles. So you went 11,200 miles. That's like $1,200 in tolls for the month, right? You got maintenance. It costs about $1,000 to get your truck oil change and oil change, filters, all that. It can cost easy $1,000. Tires cost $4.50 a pop. Tires blow. You got what else you got? It's so much expenses as an owner operator. It's damn near the same. Out that $7,200 for me to put in my savings, I probably can put out of $72,000 for that month. I may can put 10 grand. I may can stash 10 grand. I may. And that's being honest with you. I mean 10 grand where you can put away and not see it no more. So that's like 120 grand a year you may can save after you pay your taxes, after you pay the truck, after you pay your service. So you figure 120 grand a month. Now, let's use my strength. Let's say I own a construction company. I'm going to be on point on this one. Trucking, I need to calculate with trucking because that's not my strength. My strength is construction. Now, moving, I might can do it off my head. But construction, I'm going to do construction off my head. I could be in my truck My wife can tell me the size of the job. All I need is the length and the width of the job and what they want to do. Where is it located? And I can give you a ballpark figure from my head. So, let's go back to the house. I got 5.7 acres. My house is, my house is 7,000 square feet. That's 100 times 70. 100 times 70 is 7,000. Divide that by 20. Divide that by 9. 7,000 divided by 9. 9 goes into 70. 9 times 6. No, 9 times 7 is 73. 63. Yeah. Something like 700 plus cubic yards. 700 cubic yards from, I think, an acre. It's like 42,050. So 42,000, that's something like 1,000 by 400. 1,000 by 400. Or 1,000 by 4,200, something like that. That's an acre. You go 1,000 feet one way and 400 the other way. That's about an acre. Right? This is my strength now. I'm going to figure this out before I go on the subway. That's my strength. So my wife says, we're going to put a heliport. Right? So a heliport, 50 times 50. That is 50 times 50. That is 250 feet. Yeah, 250 feet. 250 feet divided by 9. 9 goes into 25 2 times. So that's something like 20 something cubic yards. Right? So now I figure, okay, and 20 something cubic yards, it's me, my wife, my daughter, say my son. We're going to do it. Now, if I had an experienced crew, right, I'm saying to myself, okay, you're going to do a heliport. I did many heliports. I would say I need about maybe, it depends where I want to put the dirt. The dirt staying on the property, I'll say, just, my wife, rent an automatic dump truck. I'll let you drive. My daughter drive the automatic dump truck. All I need is one dump truck. A dump truck can hold somewhere like 19 cubic yards. Some can hold 12. Some between 12 and 19 cubic yards, depending on the setup. So, 19 cubic yards is something like 20 tons. Okay? That's like 20 tons. So, every dump truck, remember, I need 4 and 4.25 dump trucks to fill the hole. Okay? So I need at least 4.5. You got to at least add a half. You at least got to add a little bit more taken out than putting in, because you got to have room for either asphalt or concrete. Right? So you figure if I'm putting in 4.25 dump trucks, my wife driving the dump truck, she's not experienced. I can load the dump truck in about maybe 5.5 minutes on average. And she takes about 10 minutes to return. Right? That's 15 minutes for every truck. 15 times 4 is an hour. That's an hour. So in an hour times, I'm done. So we start at 7. 8 o'clock, I finish with the excavator. We okay. My daughter gets on the roller. She rolls for about maybe 45 minutes. She said, I'm done, Dad. Yeah, you're done. Okay, go ahead. So now, my other wife, she calls the plant. I need 80. I need about 90 tons of stone. Okay, plant is about maybe 70 miles. 70 miles in a dump truck is about an hour and a half. Because a dump truck loaded, it takes time to get up to speed. Loaded. So it's about an hour and a half, right? So hour and a half, 4 loads, right? 4, 8, something like, in the course of the day, we'll have enough stone to finish, right? So now, it's not enough for me to do. I tell my wife, get on a dozer, knock the top of it off. Just play around with it. I get on the grader or I get on the finished dozer, I do the rest. She plays around with it. She makes hills, stuff like that. My daughter roll it, get compaction, so when I grade it, it's all good. So it would take about 10 hours. 10 hours to complete. With an unexperienced crew to do the helipad, just the stone. 10 hours to finish it. Okay? Now, after I get the 10 hours done, I gotta let me tell you what else I gotta do. I got to put up my string line on all 4 sides. Right? I got an inexperienced crew. I can't use a laser. I gotta use old-fashioned way. I gotta put the string line on all 4 sides. Right? I put my stakes every 5 feet. And I have a string line on it, right? And I tie the string line around the stake for each post. Go all the way around. And I get a string line, right? And I tie a loop around it. So now my daughter can pull from one side and she can tie it around on the other stake. So the line is tight. Don't need no one holding it. Now she's checking the grade. She's saying either high or low, whatever it is. So now I'm telling my wife, if it's high, just backdrag it. Backdrag it, let Kaya roll it again. We spend maybe about 2 hours backdragging and just trying to get it somewhat level. Somewhat level. That's 2 hours. So that's the next day. That's 12 hours. 12 hours going on a helipad. Right? Now, after she finished backdragging, she got it somewhat level. I said, okay, I need you to check the grade. Now, either we're gonna cheat on the asphalt, or we got to cheat on the concrete if you don't get this right. If it's high, you save on the asphalt and you save the concrete. If it's low, that means you got to spend more money on the concrete or asphalt. Which one costs the most? Asphalt costs more than stone. Concrete costs more than stone. So you want to try to leave it up, at least give me a ½ inch into the grade. If we got an inspector, what you do when you're holding that line, when you got your boots, your construction boots, you pull the line, right? And you can make a groove inside your boots. It's a ½ inch up. It's a ¼ inch. You can get on that. You can get on that inspector every time. I just get him every time. He looked. My feet is touching the curb, but I got a slit in my boot. I'm saving the company at least a ½ inch every time. I know the tricks of the trade. You understand what I'm saying? Or you tie a ribbon around the grade. You tie the ribbon on the bottom of the grade and hold a string line on top of the ribbon. It's the same thing. You're still getting a ½ inch every time. I'm the master in this. You understand what I'm saying? So now, I tell my daughter, go get your construction boots. I need you to pull a slit inside your construction boots. Check the normal grade. You need 2 inches of asphalt, right? You're putting 2 inches of asphalt. So in other words, we're only putting 1.5 inches asphalt down. Because I want that ½ inch of stone. Because stone is cheaper. It's cheaper. It's a helipad. It's a helipad. That's it. So, now we put in the asphalt. Now I gotta be on point. So now I'm telling my daughter, okay, we got the screen. On top, when you got the asphalt, the truck back down on it. I'm telling my daughter, on the screen, on the front of the screen, is a gate. It grows up and goes down. I need that gate exactly a half inch higher than what you want. So if you want 1.5 inches, I need that gate to be 2 inches. Right? Then you tell her, go get a piece of wood, I want a 2-inch piece of wood, put under the screen so we can sit down on it and keep rolling. So now when the asphalt comes out, the screen is already at 2 inches. And keep that gate up at 2 inches. Whatever you want to sit it at, that gate got to be a half inch, starting off. Then as it start off, you can see you might want to adjust it from there and then. Okay? And just let it ride. If you feel the machine go down, right? If machine go down, that means you gotta crank the screen down, because the back of it gonna go up. If the front of the machine goes up, right? You gotta crank that screen up. It's the opposite of what you feel. If you feel you going down, if that machine, when a truck backs into that hopper, he's putting weight inside the hopper. So you're putting weight inside the hopper, your screen is coming up. That's why you have to put that piece of wood on the screen. And just keep rolling. Okay? So on an inexperienced crew, I'm doing a helipad for my house. I'm figuring they don't know what they're doing. My estimate on a crew that doesn't know what they're doing, I figure 24 hours. 24 hours of an operator, 24 hours of a labor, 24 hours of a grader, a dozer, 24 hours of roller man. My daughter can get on the roller. That's how it goes. An experienced crew can knock it out in 16 hours or less, because they're gonna have to grade it. And either I'm going to say, come back tomorrow, put the asphalt down. If I'm busy, I got the asphalt coming the same day. If I'm busy. Point blank. Okay? Now, trucking. Say I got Costco or I got Target. The warehouse is hypothetically 1 million square foot. 1 million square foot warehouse, right? My truck is about 3,600 square feet. 3,600 square feet. I need to figure out how many stores they got and what's their average size of store. If they got 1 million square foot of warehouse and their stores is, say hypothetically 20,000 square feet, right? And I got to supply their store. My truck is only 3,600 or 3,500 square feet. And they got a 20,000 square foot store. You divide that 3,500 into the 20,000. 35, that's 7. 2 trucks is 7. 4 trucks is 14. 6 trucks is 21. So it takes 6 trucks to keep that store running. Keep that store running. I may not have, it's going to be hard for me to do 6 trucks a week with only 2 drivers, because they got to go from the distribution center to the store, then go back to the distribution center. 9 times out of 10, they're going to have a load leaving from the distribution center somewhere in that area, going back towards that area. It's hard to do 2 trucks. And they got X amount of stores. So you figure you need 4 trucks. You need 4 trucks per store. 4 trucks per store. So if I'm getting a contract with Target, right? Target says I got 4 distribution centers. And I'm going to say how many stores I got to do. They say, well, 8 stores. That's 32 loads a week. I got a broker. Now, if I was JB Hunt, right, I'll say, okay, I would take the 32 trucks, put it on a rail. I put it on a rail, take it close as possible to the center point of all the stores. So their main hub is Minneapolis, Minnesota. So if their stores is going to Maryland, right? In Maryland, Virginia, Delaware, New Jersey, right? I'm trying to find I'm trying to ship it from Minnesota to Baltimore. I'm gonna have me a distribution. I'm gonna have me a terminal in Baltimore, in Maryland, somewhere. So now, one driver takes it from Maryland, goes to New Jersey. He'll come back the same day, pick up another load, and take it back. That's like 600 miles. He can do that easily. He can do 2 loads a store easily. See the difference? That's freight brokering. When you go get a contract, you got to divide your square foot into the distribution center. The distribution center, you look at, then you go, you do your research. Okay, the stores is 20,000 square foot. My truck is only 3,500. There's no way in the world I can keep your store busy. One truck. It's impossible. It's impossible. Especially on a Black Friday or a sales event. I can't keep up with the demand. So let's go back into last year, COVID-19, toilet paper, everything out the way. They could not, whoever had that contract couldn't keep up with the demand because they probably didn't do their math. Let me explain. Costco store probably is 20,000 square feet, right? Might be more. 20,000 square feet. They need 20,000 square feet. They need about 4 trucks. And they need about 8 trucks a week going into that store. From that distribution center to the store. They probably didn't have 8 trucks to keep that store busy. Okay? They didn't have it. Because on a normal basis, they took their normal commodity of what they use and put trucks in that route. I'm not doing that. I'm going by your store. I'm going by the size of your store. Now, I would just say hypothetically, I got 8 trucks on that route. You might not take 8 trucks a week, but it's still, I got 8 trucks ready for that route. So now, right, I'm looking for more contracts. You're my main target, my main contract. I'm going to keep you satisfied regardless. But you can't keep up with the trucks I got on your route. That's cool. I like that. So now I say, okay, they're not selling fast enough as my truck can get there. I'm figuring you need 8 trucks a week. I'm figuring that you need about at least a truck and a half a day for me to keep up with your demand, with your shelving, with your stock room. You understand? You need 8 trucks a week if you sell out. You need 8 trucks coming into eight trucks coming into your facility from the distribution center if you sell according to your square footage. Okay? Now, you might not be selling, but once you do a sale, it will be selling. So you're going to come to me and say, I need this. I already got the trucks in line. My truck is on another route. The next route that I'm getting, you understand, is not a big contract. It's not a big contract. I'm getting a contract where it's maybe Family Dollar. I'm getting something like maybe a food warehouse. I'm going to Giant. Giant. That's where I'm going. I'm not going to a mega shipper because I couldn't keep 2 mega shippers busy. I mean, I'm happy. I couldn't do it, so I'm going to a smaller contract. Maybe I'm trying to think who's small. Maybe a school. School, they need food or whatever. They may need a drive van. Now, do you see what I'm saying? When I base my contract, it's off my main carrier. And on my business plan, I got Target, I got Walmart, I got Amazon. So if I go to Amazon, Amazon said, look, I'm building this new distribution center in Virginia. It is 2 million square foot. Okay. So now I'm gonna ask them, what is your area of your distribution center? What do you carry? You carry from Virginia to New York. You go from Virginia to Ohio. You go to Virginia to South Carolina. Where did you go? So now I'm looking at, okay, you go from your distribution center to a third-party logistics, and it goes to the straight truck. So now, if I get a contract with Amazon, I'll say, okay, I take my trailer to your distribution center, then I go to another warehouse. It goes from a trailer to a straight truck. So now, at my warehouse, I'm breaking it down. This goes to Virginia, this goes to Maryland, this goes to New Jersey, this goes there, this goes there. Once that straight truck is full, or once that straight truck is ready to go on its route, the daily route, whatever, it could be one good, it can be two, two shipments. It doesn't matter. It got to go out on that route. See what I'm saying? That's how you get a contract. Excuse my French. That's how you do trucking. See, I learned a lot from Home Depot. When I was at Home Depot, I just wasn't a worker. I was studying third-party logistics. Okay, I'm studying the business. So if I go to Amazon, I sit down and say, Amazon, okay, you got Virginia. You got Virginia. You got another warehouse in Baltimore. So what is your people from here? Where do they go? Where do your straight trucks go? You're buying more trucks, but you need more drivers. So let me help you out. Let me fill up my whole trailer full that's going to Virginia. Let me take all the Virginia routes, take it to my warehouse, break it down to straight trucks. My straight trucks take it to different routes. Now the routes I will go, it gonna be divided in 4 corners. Virginia gonna be 4 corners. One truck go 1 quarter, 1 quarter, 1 quarter, 1 quarter. When that route gets bigger, I got to add more straight trucks. You understand what I'm saying? Then I got to look at, okay, on them 4 corners, how long would it take my driver go from the warehouse to that furthest point and come back to the warehouse? If it takes more than 9 hours for him to come back, that means, mileage-wise. So now I got to put 2 trucks on there. 1 truck you pick up and go all the way to the furthest point first. You do everything to the furthest point first, then you come home. Don't worry about doing short stops, then doing a long stop. You go to the furthest point first. That's all you do. Don't do nothing else. You go all the way to Salem. You go all the way to Salem, Virginia. Do that route, come back. If it's only 1 stop, you only get 1 shipment on your truck, come back home. That's it. See? That's how you do third-party logistics. So by me doing straight truck, I need to have a contract, either like Walmart, something like Walmart. I can't do FedEx. FedEx already does that, but FedEx is so busy that it can't keep up. If I was the owner of FedEx, what I would do is, they got doubles and they do triples, right? What I would do if I was FedEx, they got their main hub in Memphis, right? They fly out, okay? Wherever the busiest area area is, I divided it in 4 corners. I put a warehouse or a distribution center on them 4 corners. And I take half the drivers and put them in all 4 corners. Now, with straight trucks, right? My straight trucks will have a trailer behind them. They be pulling, trailers hook up to do doubles. Like, you ever seen a dump truck with a trailer on it, and he's carrying another little small dump truck behind it? That's what the trucks will have. These will go from the distribution center. A day, just say hypothetically, what leaves that distribution center will not be delivered that day. It will be delivered next day. I will take the 2 trucks, that one truck carrying that trailer behind it, to the nearest location. Empty that. That's all going out the next day. So they have what they have. The driver will have what they have for the next day coming in today. It will be a day ahead of time. That's how I would do with FedEx. But if I had FedEx and I'm dealing with Amazon can't keep up. You have to. If you don't have the drivers, you got to add the equipment. You got to go longer. So when I go to Amazon, I'm going correct. I'm going to say, okay, you have $2 million square foot warehouse. Okay, 2 million foot warehouse. Okay, let's do a contract. You say, well, I got Virginia, I got Maryland, I got West Virginia, I got North Carolina. Okay, so now I'm looking at square mileage in North Carolina, I'm looking at square mileage in Virginia, I'm looking at square mileage in Maryland, I'm looking at square mileage wherever he goes. A truck can only cover, I think it's 200 square miles in a radius. 200 this way, 200 this way, 200 this way, 200 this way. That's all he can cover. He can't cover no more. So hypothetically, if I have a warehouse right here in College Park, it's 212 miles to go to New York. That truck can only go to New York and come back. It can't go nowhere else. That's 200 square miles. That's it. It can't go nowhere else. Then another truck got to go 200 square miles and come back. That's it. Now, if he have more freight than that truck can handle, he's screwed. You feel me? Now, let's order my sandwich. See, the more I talk to you, I get more educated. Hold on. How you doing, sir? Can I get a whole turkey breast? This is top of the day, right? Italian bread. I want to go contracts that's going to use my skills. I want to use my skills. See, when I go to Atlanta and just say I want to do business with Home Depot, I know what kind of contract I need by the square footage of the warehouse and by the area they want to do. I may not have enough drivers. I may not have enough drivers to accomplish what they want. So that means that what I'm going to have to do is do doubles. Now, when I do doubles, right, I'm going to go from the warehouse with a double trailer. From their warehouses, I said, listen, in your warehouse, you have a software that goes out for every day. Toasted, no cheese, toasted. I want the next 2 days. Starting off, when we first start off, right? When a customer buys something, today is no deliveries. Give me what you're going to send out tomorrow and what you're going to send out the next day. I want that. I want both of those. Let me talk to the shipper of when it's getting there. When they buy something from your store, lettuce, tomatoes, onions, spinach, roasted peppers, Roasted peppers. A little bit more peppers, please. Black olives. Um, uh, um, Jalapeno peppers, the middle one. Yes. Salt, pepper, oil, vinegar. Mayonnaise. A little bit more mayonnaise, please. A little bit more. Thank you. That's it, sir. I think tomorrow I'm gonna try your we call it chipotle. What do you call it? That's Southwest. Tomorrow, when I come back tomorrow, I'm gonna try. Huh? It'll be empty. It it goes that fast. Yeah, I mean, no, I never had it before, but I want to try that Chipotle Southwest. Is it sweet? Is it?
Oh, it's like a little bit spicy, little bit sour, it's mixed.
I'm gonna try that on my steak sandwich. I'll try it tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yes, sir. I try it tomorrow. So that's how I want to do it. So if I go to Home Depot, right, I tell my wife, "You gonna get a contract?" You go to Home Depot. You tell Home Depot, when a customer goes in your store or go online and they buy something, you don't give them no delivery time. You tell them call me. Because when I come in your distribution center, I want what's going out, what's going out tomorrow and what's going out the next day. How much is that, sir?
680.
I want that. So now I bring it back to my warehouse, break it down. The 2 trucks, the double trailer. I break it down, and I put it on the route. The next day, my 2 trailers go back and pick up. I sit right there, sir. I get it. Thank you, sir. It goes back, and I do it from there. If I'm short on drivers. You understand what I'm saying? If I got enough drivers, then we won't have to do that. But 9 times out of 10, I want to be short on drivers. I'm going to tell you why I want to be short on drivers. Business-wise, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell my wife, don't go out here and hire all these drivers. I don't want that. I want to have more freight than drivers. I'm going to tell you why. Dealing with third-party logistics. I want that warehouse to be full. When it's full, now I can make better judgment. I can make better judgment on how it's going out. When I go to my software, right, or when my wife goes into software, the first, I say about the first week or so, I'm staying right in the warehouse. I'm gonna show my wife how it works. I want my warehouse to have 3 days of shipment. 3 days of shipment. So now, when a customer go inside a Home Depot, they go buy a refrigerator, they go buy a stove, they buy this and that. Usually Home Depot says within 72 hours or within 104 hours, we can have you delivered. Or call this number up and we'll schedule a delivery. Okay? Here I come in, my straight trucks. Say hypothetically, I got Pennsylvania. So Home Depot says, okay, you the third-party logistics. You make the delivery, right? I'm going to have 2 trucks on that route. 1 truck fixed, 1 truck delivers. So now once the truck that goes there first is the truck that delivered the product. He delivers it, he puts it in place, and he removes what's not being used. The next truck comes in there, he's the fixer. He's the installer. So now the installer, right? He will spend a little bit more time there than the person that's going to deliver. I can't have my delivery guy hold up. I can't hold him up. So I'll tell a customer, we'll have that Nextel. The driver will Nextel the installer saying, where's your location? He might say, I'm 45 minutes out. So the driver will say, well, I'm taking your goods out, but the installer is on his way. Shipper might say, well, I need my refrigerator. If it's a refrigerator, it's no problem. You just plug it up. But if it's something like a dryer, if it's something like a dishwasher, where you got to do them hoses, or if it's a refrigerator that has a ice maker, I say, look, we can plug up your refrigerator for your refrigerator to work, but your ice maker, you're going to have to wait. Because he has all the attachments to hook it up. But I don't want your food to go bad, so we're going to plug up your refrigerator. You cannot have your delivery driver, held up if you're short on drivers. You can't do that. You can't. It's a time limit. I need that driver in and I need my driver out. The installer, you can take time. I don't want you to rush. I just want you to install. You don't have to lift nothing. You don't have to do anything. Only thing you need to do is hook up the hoses, what they need to be hooked up, either push the appliance in place. That's it. That's all you do. Don't worry about bringing it upstairs. Don't worry about bringing nothing downstairs. Whatever you take upstairs, you shouldn't have to bring back down. Point blank. Point blank. That's how that goes. Now, don't you see how educated I get as once I go into construction? Construction is my talent. It's my talent. A construction company, I'm not saying I'm the best, but I'm saying God gave me a talent. God gave me a talent in construction. So, people say, well, you can start a construction company. Nah, If you've seen what I've seen, you just can't go out and start a construction company. I've seen inspectors mess around a construction company. And an inspector can really make your company go bankrupt. I'm telling you. Only thing you got to do is piss off the state. They send an inspector there, and he can fuck you. Excuse my French. One man can make a company go bankrupt. Because once you bid a job, let's say, we're going to do this road right here. See this road? Now, you see this road? I haven't even measured it, but I can tell you the length, I can tell you the width of it right now. The width of this road is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This width of this road is 60 foot. It's a 60-foot road. I guarantee you, it's no more than 65 feet. It's no more than 65 feet. Right? So I already know the length of this road. Say I had to mill it and pave it. Inspector says, okay, say I'm getting the asphalt from DC. DC is about maybe, for the trucks to go there and come back, maybe about 45 minutes. Right? Now, if the dump trucks doesn't have a heated body, right? That inspector will let that truck sit on a job site. He's not doing nothing. He's staying inside his car. He ain't doing nothing. You guys will wait till they tar the road. The trucks is already on site. You know, just say you start at 7 o'clock. Trucks loading at 6. Trucks is right there waiting on you to put the asphalt down. Inspector is not taking that temperature. He ain't doing nothing. Now, here it is, you bring the asphalt and you tell the crew, come on. Here comes the inspector. The truck doesn't have a heated body. He waits until you break the tailgate. Right? Now, the warmest part of the load and the asphalt is what's close to the bottom, is in the middle. So when the first break, that's the top of the asphalt. That's the back of it and the top of it. That's the coldest of asphalt. So if the temperature is not what he wants, truck got to go back to the plant. He can fuck you. You do not send a dump truck to an asphalt plant without a heated body and you're not ready for him. That inspector can send that asphalt back. Then he sends it back. They got to remix it. He got to dump it. They got to remix it. Now you got a tar. Now you have a time limit on which the road got to open up. You got to do X amount. If your safety is not picked up by a certain time, it's 10 grand a minute you got to pay for that safety. That inspector sits in his car, don't do nothing. Because you have a foreman that doesn't know the business. If you have a foreman, you tell an inspector, look, man, I got my trucks here. I need you to take temperature of the asphalt before I put this down. If it's not right now, right, I ain't gonna put it down. Because since I'm waiting, right, I can send a truck back. I need you to go take temperature of the asphalt. Most asphalt dump trucks supposed to have a pinhole inside the body where that inspector can stick that thermostat inside that body and take that temperature. Do not let him go to that paver and take the temperature. You tell him, go to that truck, take the temperature of the asphalt. If it's not right, I'm sending him back now. So I can have a hot mix. I don't want to break that tailgate of that dump truck until I get approval from you. Especially gonna look at you like you crazy. He's gonna like, man, no, I ain't checking that. Well, look, you gonna pay for the crew because I need you to check the asphalt. I'm not gonna break the gate on that asphalt and you say it's cold because the top of it is what the air is hitting. That's what you checking the temperature on. Check in the middle. Check the middle. Stick that thermostat into that little pinhole in the body. That's why you got to have a heated dump truck for asphalt. A heated dump truck is the exhaust. It's not going through a tailpipe. It's not going through the exhaust pipe. Your exhaust goes through your body of the truck. The fumes come out either the top of the back of the body or the bottom of the body. But 9 times out of 10, it goes from the top of the body. That keeps the asphalt warm. You cannot send a regular dump truck to go get asphalt on a state project. That inspector can you. Okay? Just say we're doing guardrail. Or just say we're grading. Right? That inspector, now they got the GPS. But if he don't have that GPS and he's want to check your grade, this inspector can make a little triangle. I'm gonna tell you what, you can make it, it's flat like this way, and goes like this, like a triangle, and got a stick. The ruler is on a stick going down. He places that, the bottom of that instrument that he used to check the grade, and it goes level. It sits on top of the grade. So if you didn't roll, if you don't have the compaction correctly, your grade is high. You got to pound that material into the ground. If you got a good resident inspector, you better be on point. Now, I'm dealing with the GPS. Now, I'm going to tell you something with the GPS. If you on the dozer or the grader, that dozer or the grader does not respond fast enough if you're grading, if you're going fast on that dozer. You have to assist it. So now, if you're using GPS, you tell that inspector, well, my machine my dozer has an 8-foot blade. That blade does not break in the middle. You check grade here and go another 8 feet. You don't check that grade where the blade don't break. If you want to check that, then you take a string line, you go to my machine blade, and you pull a string line there. If that string line has any gap in the center, then now we got a problem. But if you pull that string line and that cutting edge touches that line, there's no need for you to check every 4 feet. You got to be on point. Come with these inspectors. Some of these inspectors doesn't know the front from the back. And the ones that is smart, if he finds that you got a foreman that doesn't know what he's doing, he can screw you. That foreman, that inspector will come on a job site at 8 o'clock, leave out, go hang out at the bar, do whatever he want to do, come back 3 o'clock and want to check the job out. If that inspector leaves, cover it up. Whatever he needs to check, cover it up. Take pictures. Write it down in your log. Hey, dude, I'm sorry, dude, you wasn't here. I looked for you, you wasn't here. It ain't my fault. You own it. The state own that. If you want me to move the stone, state got to pay me. He can't do nothing because now the state gonna look. Why was you on the job? Why wasn't you on the job? When say you're making a building, and you doing a building, and the building is a half inch off, it's a problem. First thing the state gonna do is go to an inspector. Look at the inspector notes. They ain't gonna look at the contractor. Contractor got a log too. Contractor wrote down, well, the inspector left out at 8:15 and didn't return to 2:15. I couldn't stop my job because the inspector wasn't here. So I kept going. If you want it fixed, the state got to pay for it. It ain't my job. You got to know what you got to know how to talk to these inspectors. An inspector can cost the company a lot of money. I done seen it. I done seen an inspector take a hammer and hit the guardrail and say, it's not acceptable. I done seen an inspector take his feet and kick the dirt to check the grade and say, oh, it's low or it's high. I seen that. One inspector had me grade a ramp 30 days. I was on one ramp for 30 days. And I'm saying to myself, you must got in for the company, don't you? And he did. But Lord and behold, he made me who I am today. That inspector, I was on the ramp of 206 in Jersey, Route 206. It took us 30 days to grade it because that inspector was hard. He made me who I am today. At the time, I hated that inspector. I hated that inspector. I hated the resident inspector. It was like he was just prejudiced. But he made me. Every day, for 30 days, I'm working on the same ramp. If it was a 1/4 inch high, he would tell my cousin Calvin, back up 50 feet, put the blade and cut down a 1/4 inch. If the grade stakes was 100 feet apart, back up 100 feet and cut a 1/4 inch. It had to be perfect. He made me who I am. It made Ray, the guy that at the foreman at the time, it made him go drink. I got wiser. I said, okay. I get you. So now when he started checking the grade, right? I noticed when I used to put my boot on, when you pull the string line, it cuts a groove inside your boot. It was the Lord talking to me. The Lord was teaching me. I said, okay. So now I take the ribbon, I tie it on a stake, right? Don't use the marker. I put a little notch. You shoot the grade. I put a little mark on the grade stake. I put the ribbon right on top of the mark. Then when I'm doing asphalt, I put the mark lower. Saving a 1/2 inch all the time. I said, okay, you coming at me, I'm coming at you. They couldn't understand it. The company saved, I saved the company, I think it was $400,000. If I'm not mistaken, it was $400,000. I saved the company. I said, yeah, you got me, but I got you too. I got New Jersey good. They got New Jersey good. They got to a point where they send the good inspectors with me. Inspector said, nah, I don't need you to hold the line no more. I hold my own line. Inspector would bring his own help. I said to myself, yeah, okay. You won't get me no more. Then I got on machine. See, he made me. When you're going through something bad, it's God sometimes teaching you. He made me. So, once again, construction is my talent. I haven't been in it in a while, but it's still my talent. Once I get confused I go back to construction. And when I can't do math, I go back to construction. I go back, I picture that building. I'm grading for a building pad. The building pad is 20,000 square feet. I picture that in my mind. I'm grading it. How many passes of the grader, or how many trucks I need to grade that building pad? I use that scenario in trucking. Whenever I get confused, I go back to construction. So, it's a blessing that I had the opportunity to work in construction and go through what I went through with the inspectors. It's a true blessing. I thank God every day that I had that bad inspector. I thank the Lord that I was on that ramp for 30 days. I thank the Lord that I had an inspector that would come back the next day and take density of the asphalt. I'm so glad I had an inspector that was hard on me about asphalt joints. That ain't how you rake a joint. That ain't how you roll an asphalt joint. I thank the Lord for that. I thank the Lord that I used to have people laugh at me when I first started. Say, you'll be nothing like your father. I thank the Lord for all that stress, because it made me who I am today. Do I want a construction company? Part of me, yeah, and part of me don't. I just want to do it for a hobby. To be honest with you. I just want to do it for a hobby. When I was in construction, it was a hobby. I didn't look at it as a job no more. It was a hobby. When I got on a grader, it wasn't a job. I didn't care how much you paid me. It was a hobby. The dozer, a hobby. Excavator, a hobby. So I'm glad that they said, they pulled me off the machines. I'm glad. Because God opened another door up for me. I learned trucking. I learned moving. I learned to do what the devil took from me. The devil tried to close the door, and he did. God allowed him to close that door, but God taught me another trade, trucking. So I thank the Lord for all the things I've been through, all the pain, all the tears, all the things I lost. I thank him for all things. But I got to get my mind right on mathematics. That's why I said, you will forget more than you know, than you can remember. I forgot 80% of the things in construction. Only way I'm going to remember it is to get back in it. That's the only way. When I get back in it, I got to take my time. And things going to come back to me. Like over here, they doing a Wawa over by the house. And I would go over there on the machine, and things start to come to me. It's starting to come to me. It was coming to me. It was coming to me. The grades was coming to me. What I needed to do was coming to me. It was coming back to me. But that's when, I guess, Prince George County Sheriff was like, nah, I gotta stop you. Because it was coming to me. It was coming to me as, do it yourself. Do it all by yourself. You know? So when I get a house, if I honestly believe if I was never pulled away from my daughter and I had a chance to teach my daughter what I know, she'd be a strong woman. Not saying that she's not strong now. She would have been strong. My gene in me, in her in construction, she would have been around. She would have been a force. Because I would have taught her everything. I used to talk to her when she was small. You're going to take over from where I left off. I used to tell her all the time. She used to play in my face. I used to talk to her. You're going to be a force. I used to talk to her. Yes, sir, I used to talk to her. So, will I get into it? I mean, I don't have... The only way I will get half what I used to be in construction, I got to be challenged. I got to be challenged. And they won't challenge me in construction. They might challenge me in trucking. They won't challenge me in construction. Now, you might get a young kid that might try to challenge me. A young kid that had his father teach him the ropes and he might can do tricks on the machine. He might challenge me. He might challenge me. And when he challenged me, once he start to see that I thrive off a challenge, either he gonna hate me or he gonna be like, you all right, you cool. Because I thrive off a challenge. I'm like King Kong with a lightning strike. If you challenge me, it makes me better. That's why I don't mind telling you the business. Because once you get good, it motivates me. I'm not good unless I'm challenged. I'm just laid back. Whatever. But you call me out, I'm going to the books. I'm studying. You know, I watch YouTube. I watch people talk about trucks. Talk about how much money they make and the foolish drivers. That's striving to me. That's energy for me. Okay. You can drive. You can shift gears. You can do this and that. Okay. I'm going back into the lab. I'm going into the lab. Because you pushing me for greatness. See, a good woman will push you for greatness. Push you for greatness. If I'm married, my wife telling me, get it done. She pushing me for greatness. A young kid telling me, yeah, I could do 15,000 pounds in a certain amount of time. Okay. Looking at him, okay. You pushing me, right? You challenging me, right? So now, start off slow. Take my time. As I take my time, I'm going for perfection. It's like grading. I take everything back to the grader. On a grader, it's not speed. It's not speed. It's every pass. It's make perfection. The less times you on it, it's perfection. The more times you got to keep grading, keep backing up on it. keep backing up on it, you lose the production. Take your time, one pass only. Then as you start to get the eye, speed will come. When I first got in the trucks, shifting gears, like I say, I knew how to shift gears because I was in the grader. So when I got in the truck, I didn't know how to double clutch. On the grader, you got to ride the clutch when you're grading. You got to ride that clutch. You gotta put your foot right at the point where she just want to go. You put it in idle and just come off that clutch slowly for it just want to go. Then you gotta press the clutch in to give it acceleration to move your hydraulics faster. And you gotta do that. You gotta do it. We call it on a routine when you're grading. Because if you pop the clutch, she'll jump and mess up your grade. You can't let the wheel spin. If the wheels spin, you're done. In a grader, you're done. Never let them wheels spin and never take your front wheel over a windrow. If your wheels spin, you're done. You're done. You wasted a whole pass. You're done. So when you feel it digging in, you got to bring up the blade. You do not want that wheel to spin, especially if you're a rookie. Because if you spin, the machine is going down. The blade is going down. That means you got a back drag. It gets you frustrated. Because now you're looking at, okay, I made a nice pass. But now the machine dug in the hole. Now you got a back drag. Now you gotta back up. You gotta set the blade. You gotta look behind you, and you gotta worry about people on both sides of you. It's a technique to that grader. It's a technique. Most grader operators curse when they got a back drag. They will curse that machine out when you got a back drag. It's not like a dozer. But when you got a back drag on that grader, you saying, excuse my French, shit. Come on, goddammit. Come on, you piece of shit. You cursing that machine out because it's frustrating, the back drag. You can only take like a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch, depending on the material. God forbid you in sand. And in sand, you might take a 1/4 inch back dragging. And you back dragging, she's steady digging in the sand. Wheels steady spinning. She's spinning and you trying to back drag. You get to the point where you dig so much, she's stuck. Now you got to fishtail out. You gotta keep turning your behind to get some type of traction to get out. And everybody looking at you. You're frustrated. You don't want to back drag, you don't have to back drag. Especially in that grader. You're frustrated. Then you ready to get off the machine, you ready to tell the boss, forget about it. Forget about that 1/2 inch. It's only a 1/2 inch. Forget about it. Let's move on. You see many grading operators tell you, man, it's only a 1/2 inch, man. Make it up in the asphalt. Go to the next station. Get the right inspector. You ain't going nowhere. You gonna stay right there. That's how I had to learn. I learned through, I don't know if there was prejudice. Part of it was. Part of it was prejudice. Part of it was hatred. You know, it was. Part of them was mad because I was going fast. I do see the problem it could have caused if I would have hit someone. Now that I'm older, I used to have that grader wide open. Wide open. When I had to go on the highway, on the road, different places, I'm wide open. I knew what she can do. But you put me in that grader. Matter of fact, I went to Brandywine last year. What was last year? Or was it this year? It was this year. No, it was last year. It was on my birthday. I got on that grader with the joysticks. I couldn't back up like I did with the steering wheel. It wouldn't respond to me like the steering wheel. So I had to make adjustments. That was the only thing I didn't like. I didn't like how it backed up, because on the steering wheel, the wheel will stay right there where you want it. You can steer with your leg. But when you have to back up and back drag with that joystick, you gotta look behind you, and everything is in the twist of your wrist. So now you're backing up, steering, and you trying to adjust the blade as you go and trying to look behind. It's too much. You got to go real slow when you're backing up, because when you're backing up, a little turn in your wrist, the wheel turn. The wheel turn. With the steering wheel, all you gotta do is let your hand go, and the steering wheel is not gonna move. The wheels will not move. You need to go right or left a little bit, use your leg. You use your right leg to push it up to go left. You push your left leg up to go right, and vice versa. But with that joystick, you got to be very, very careful working around guys. If you're snow plowing, it's one thing. Snow plowing, you don't even backtrack. But if you grading with that joystick, and you got to backtrack, you better be very slow. Do not go fast, because you will kill someone. That front tire off tracking will kill someone. Because you got to look behind you, and you got the blade, and you adjusting the blade on how the machine digs in the ground. And all of a sudden, you looking on your right, and the machine is turning all the way to the left. Now you got to turn back around. You got to take your time. Got to take your time on that grader. That grader, it's the hardest machine to run. I believe Caterpillar made the joysticks trying to make it as a young generation to encourage them to run it. That's why they came up with GPS. They couldn't find nobody to grade. I'm being honest with you. They couldn't find nobody to grade. So they had to make the GPS, make it where, it can encourage young generation to get on a grader. That's the only reason why they did GPS. They couldn't grade with the dozer. To this day, it's hard to find a good grader person without their GPS. And if you run that grader and dozer on GPS, if you don't have that GPS on, you can't tell what's high or low, because you can't develop an eye. You gotta develop an eye. And sometimes this is what the old timers taught me. See, when the old timers was teaching me, computers was just starting to come in. So they were saying, What if the satellite, what if the satellite goes haywire? What you gonna do? What if God crashes the satellite? How you gonna learn how to do something without the satellite? So that's how they taught me. I knew a little bit about computers, but they taught me, get that computer stuff out your mind. What if the computers go haywire? How you gonna get it done? You're gonna be so dependent on that computer, and you're gonna be lost. So I had to use stuff without the computer. So when the computer came in, I had to show the guys what not to do, because the old timers didn't want it. I'm telling you, they did not want the computers inside the machines. They didn't want that GPS. They used to say, well, give it to the young guys. I don't want it. I don't want it. Because if I'm too old to change. I'm too old to change. And I understand what they were saying. And this is why I would teach the young kids, if you're going to get on a machine, what if that GPS goes down? How you going to grade? How you going to grade? That's why a lot of people don't like Caterpillar. Caterpillar was starting to change. Matter of fact, on a dozer, in 2003, on a dozer, the armrest was hydraulic. It can go up and it can go down on a big dozer. You sit sideways. It was starting to change. In the old times, he used to say, man, I don't like this. Give me the John Deere. Give me the Komatsu. Because they kept the same routine. But you couldn't find no one to grade. You couldn't find no one to grade. Nobody wanted the grader. You couldn't find no one. So they caught the GPS. So the old timers, especially my father, used to say, what if that satellite drop out the sky? What if that satellite drop out the sky? What you gonna do? What if that computer goes haywire? What you gonna do? You gonna sit there and wait? What you gonna do? So I couldn't use that. I had to use what they had to use. I had to learn their way. But when they first came out with the GPS, I told the guys, make the screen big. You make the screen big if you can't see, if you can't hold grade. If you can't hold the grade, make the screen big. If you can hold the grade for like 50 feet, make the screen small and see the whole job. But when you see the whole job, you gotta look. If you can't read plans, it's gonna throw you off, because it's just like the plan. It shows you where the water breaks. It shows you the manholes. It shows you pipes. It shows you all this when you make it small. So it's like a survey. So now when you cross where the water breaks, the blade is going to dip down like it's cutting for the water. And you're going to be like, what's going on? So if you can't hold the grade, make the screen small. Make the screen small where you just see within the 25 feet. But if you can hold grade, look at the whole job. And I should say, well, with this, what you got now, you don't need no grade checkers. And I should tell them that. I said, with this, you give me this, we're going to do the labors. I don't need no labors, because I got everything right here. It tells me everything a labor going to tell me. So either you're trying to cut out the labors, or what you doing? Because now, only thing you need now with me is just the superintendent. Superintendent Go out and do whatever you want to do and come back end of the day and we're done. Volors, working with volors, I didn't have no labors. No labors. Only thing I had was me and a superintendent. And the superintendent was in the trailer with the GPS. That's it. So I used to tell him, I should come home and tell Calvin, my father, I don't know what they're trying to do, but you don't need no labors. You don't. You need no one to check the grade. It tells you where the curb line is. The only thing you have to do in that machine, if you run the grade faster than the hydraulics, you got to assist it. That's the only thing. If you grade in third gear, you're going to have to help that. You have to help the hydraulics, because the hydraulics does not work fast enough with the computer to respond. It doesn't respond fast enough. That's the only thing. But other than that, you don't need no help. You can just, I can just come on a job site with no labors and just a machine. And that's it. You don't need no labors. You know where the curb is going to be. You know where the sidewalk is going to be. You know how the plan, they're shooting plans where they want the water off the road, how they want the water to go, and where the high point is on the plans. All that is all on your screen. Only thing you need is an engineer ruler of saying how many feet it is, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 feet with the ruler. That's all you need. Other than that, you don't need no labels. So, I don't know what they do now. I see them with the GPS. So the only thing they really got to do now is just drive the machine. They don't even got to operate it no more. Even the pavers got a computer that does the slope. Everything is computer now. So by these young guys, that's all they know. They go to school, learn the computers, learn how to fix it. So the machine goes down, if the computer goes down, the job stops. Back in the old days, it wouldn't have stopped. It wouldn't have stopped. So that's what the old guys taught me. I thank them, but I don't know. I don't know what this age is headed to. Even with pipes, you had a laser for the pipes. When I was in the early 2000s, you could say you're doing water pipe. I'm not gonna say water. Say you're doing sewer, not sewer. Sewer pipes. The water doesn't run uphill. Common sense tell you water don't run uphill. So you put the laser in there, and you put it on percentage pitch. And the only thing you got to do now, back then, what we had to do back then was on the machine, right? On the bucket, you put the, especially like on the loader, it got like a, what you want to call that? What you call that thing? It's on a law. On a law, it got a percentage. Even on a crane, it got a percentage of the boom, like 0, 1, 2 percentage. Well, on a loader, it got a point where the bucket is level. It got a little groove, especially John Deere. John Deere got a little groove on the arm of the bucket to let you know if the bucket is level. It lets you know when the bucket is level. It's no more feel. You know, you had to feel when the bucket was level. Everything has changed now. But if the computer ever goes down and we had to go back to old style, what these kids gonna do? You gotta keep on with this technology. That's why these kids are getting obese. These kids don't wanna work. You understand? Because you make everything easy for them. Everything easy for them. So, I don't know. That's why I keep putting salt lakes in the air. You gotta keep on doing what you do. Because these kids today is not doing no manual labor. I'll tell you that right now. If it ain't computer, they ain't doing it. They even got, think about it. They can even make a robot. They done really changed the game. If I was to go back, I would probably go back to a small company that doesn't invest in the GPS. He got the old machines. He's an old style type of operator. I go with him. I show him what I can do. We bid jobs. And we doing it faster than the guys with the computer because the computer only can go but so fast with the hydraulics. A human is faster than the hydraulics. It's like night and day. Operator versus that GPS, if he's a good operator, he's twice as fast than that GPS. The fastest that GPS can go is like a tractor in a cornfield. Now, a tractor in a cornfield, that combine, that's how fast you gotta go on that GPS. You can't go no faster. And that's the God's honest truth. But I don't know. If God ever get an itch and starts messing up these computers, these kids lost. I guess they have to go to robots. That's why they invested in robots. That's why they got autonomous trucks. You know, some things should have been left alone. But who is me? Kids don't go out to play no more. Kids don't play street football no more. Kids don't go to the park and play no more. Everything is on the computer. You know, when I was young, we played street football. We didn't stay in the house. We going outside. Rain, snow, sleet. We had Upsala College playing basketball. We had Seton Hall playing basketball. We in the park playing basketball. They don't do that no more. Only very, very few. So, I don't know. If that computer ever goes down, buddy, I don't know what this generation gonna do. And they talking about jobs, and they steady making robots. Steady making robots. Well, I don't know. You got autonomous trains, autonomous trucks, autonomous vehicles. I don't know. But they keep saying, trying to create jobs. What jobs are you creating? For them to work on computers? Work on robots? That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing. Then a kid go to school, they in 100 grand in debt for an education. They gotta spend 100 grand in a college for 4 years to come out to get a $19 paying job. $19 an hour paying job. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. The only jobs that not going into robotics is police, fire, EMS. That's the only thing that's not going to computers. Well, I'm home. Talk to you later.